Namaste, guys. Christian Long, life enhancement consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Thursday evening here, in Denver, Colorado. It is 6:08 p.m. Mountain Time. My apologies for running over late today. I had somebody contact me. They said they had Jessica, Namaste. They had a quick question. Karen, Namaste. Suresh, Namaste. A quick question. I'm like, all right, I got to be on in 3 minutes. Okay, quick question. I can answer quick questions. No problem. Denise, Namaste. And I was not, thanks, Karen. I appreciate your concern. I did see your text message. Tina, Namaste. So my apologies, Christy, Namaste, for being late. I'm sorry. It's not, I'm late maybe, good Lord. Out of out of 2.5 months of streams, 3 to 4 times a day, I've been late, 3 times maybe? It's not bad. Amanda, Namaste, right? It happened. So my apologies. I picked up the phone. You know, it's one of those things when you're like, all right, do I pick up the phone and answer this or do I afterwards? But I heard quick question and all right, quick question. Got it. Okay, so as you guys know, Thank you for forgiving me. And for like the past hour-ish, I've been going over my notes. I have this many notes from different pranic healing retreats, or hatha yoga retreats, healings that I've done, healings I've received, coaching I've done, different schools I've studied. I have all these notes, and I'm just kind of going over the notes going, oh, that's a good one. Okay, we could talk about this one later, And wouldn't you know it, several times throughout the writings, stillness came up, which goes to our challenge. Thank you guys. I appreciate your concern. Trust me, if, and I got this from my dad, if I'm 15 minutes late for any stream, 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening, if I'm late, 15 minutes or more, call 911. That I can give you a guarantee on. Okay, so we did it. So Tina and Elena did it. Who else did today's challenge? So say, I did it, I didn't do it, I did it, I didn't do it, I did it, I didn't do it. Let me know. And then our challenge, for those of you watching right now live for the first time and missed the challenge this morning, the challenge is very simple. Lorena, Namaste. I wouldn't say very simple. Good job, Amanda. Good job, Karen. Good job, Jessica. Good job, Suresh. Proud of you, man. Jessica put a big one. So I did it, was almost done, and thought I had a spider on me, so I freaked out, then tried again in only 3 minutes from being done, and I started getting itches again, and I kept saying in my mind, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. Well, my body protested that, and my darn foot twitched involuntarily. Interesting. Good practice. Joanna did it. Good job. Karen says, also have a message from Lissy who can't be on the stream. Okay, so she says, because I know she's working. Oops. She says, did it before, resistant, can't really stay still. Good awareness. During, hard on the beginning. I think she said begging last time, but then I was able to stay still by concentrating on smells and sounds around me. Interesting. Okay, we'll cover that too. After, felt accomplished, relaxed, and motivated. Good. Bottom lip went numb, so did my pointer finger. Very strange. What's going on with you guys practicing stillness? So the challenge was 8 o'clock this morning. You set your timer on your phone for 15 minutes and you just be still. That's it. Be still, be still, be still. So resist the urge to move, resist the urge to stretch, resist the urge to scratch yourself, resist the urge to, adjust your clothing, resist the urge to move, right? Chrissy says, loved it, but kept having to swallow. Okay, fair. I was still, my mind was a bit active. Good, excellent. I know, your lip, it's different, right? Why does my hair looks different almost every hour. I was looking at my hair in the mirror. I was like, how did my hair get to that point? And then I messed with it again. It's the challenge of having wavy hair. It's wavy/curly. Karen knows what that's about. Elena was relaxed. She can be still, no problem. Very, very good. Excellent. Excellent. What else? What was your experience getting the challenge, doing the challenge, completing the challenge? I know you hear me. Poofy curly. Wait, I listened to mantra stillness. Does that count? One way or the other didn't matter, right? What was the assignment? Being still, right? Being still. But I'll cover that in a minute, actually. Was able to be still most of the time, fell into meditation. Did anyone else have an experience of meditating? Denise didn't do it. Thank you for your responsibility, Denise. I appreciate that. Not being interrupted by kids. Good job, Chrissy. They are a meditation in and of themselves. Okay. Anyone else feel like this was a meditation? Feel like this was a meditation. And then I'll give you guys higher levels of truth and higher levels of understanding. So Karen says it was hard to do. Kept twitching. Aaron, namaste. Good to have you back on. Kept twitching mostly in my neck. Yeah, the neck. Whoops. And was itching because was sitting outside in the grass. Understandable. Okay. I see a lot of bright light. Very good. I was able to tone out all the sounds around my home, just the obsessive itches that wanted to harass me. Those harassing itches. Those son of a itches. Good. What else? Other feedback, right? Because we're coming together. We're providing feedback. Everyone's learning from each other's feedback. We're increasing the learning curve. We're shortening the learning curve, but the speed is faster than if we were doing it by ourselves. And then we'll go into higher practices and higher teachings around stillness. Yes, at the end I felt calm like after meditation. Very good. Tina says, usually I have itches that taunt me. Not haunt you? Ooh. I mean, that's Halloween time. We're not there yet. By the way, anyone who wants to paint their faces like a clown and send it to me, feel free. Okay, good. Anything else? Comments, questions, concerns before we go into the higher practices? Yes, in the mind of its own foot. And I was like, are you serious? Good, very good. Amanda and Karen are all worked up. Okay, good. So here's the higher practices with stillness. Stillness, so Tina was saying, focusing on, was it Tina? My apologies, of the flowers, smelling the flowers, or was that Chrissy? Hold on, everyone. I think that was Tina. Was it Tina? There's too many of you commenting too quickly. All right. I apparently missed it. Oh, Lissy. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So, focusing, when you are focusing, you're not in stillness. When you're focusing, you're not in stillness because stillness is generated in the heart. Stillness is generated in the heart, and there are higher levels of truth to that. So, very simply, this is now that you guys have an experience of practicing stillness on your own, I can give you a higher level of truth that you can then practice that level of truth with stillness. So, when you're still, what becomes activated when the physical body is still is your emotions become more activated. Did anyone notice as their body is settling in, calming down, right? Their emotions start getting worked up. They maybe start feeling some irritability, some anxiousness, some fear. They start feeling things, yes or no? Does anyone notice that when they were being physically still? Here's the interesting thing. If you couldn't be physically still, you're not going to get to the emotional activation, right? If you're not physically still, you're not going to get to the emotional activation. Okay? So, yes, good. When you're physically still, just thinking, good. So we'll get to that, Tina. So when you're physically still, the emotional body becomes activated. You start having feelings. You start being aware of the astral body, because the astral body or the emotional body is designed to fluctuate. Ken, Atma Namaste. It's designed to fluctuate. It's designed to move. Sarah, Atma Namaste. Then, as you're being aware of your emotions, hey, the emotion of irritability, the emotion of anger, the emotion of sadness, the emotion of fear, the emotion of whatever emotion your astral body is feeling, remember, we're not our emotions. As you become aware of your astral body, your emotions begin to calm. So it's not one way or the other. It's not, I'm feeling so peaceful right now, right? You're starting to have a level of, good job, Sarah. We're starting to have a level of equanimity in our emotional body. Neither good, neither bad, which is beautiful. This is called the path of the Tao. You're going from one end of the pendulum to the other end of the pendulum to moving into the center. So now you can go up. Where? Into the mental body. So as you're still physically, your emotions become stimulated. As you be aware of your emotions, they calm down, and what becomes stimulated next? The mental body, which is where Tina was. So as she was physically still, not moving, she wasn't really aware of her emotions, per se, but she was aware of thoughts, errands she had to run, people she had to talk to, phone calls that she had to make, being aware of how much longer is this stillness meditation going to last, right? So the mental body becomes activated. So as you still the physical body, as you become aware of the emotions and still emotions, as you become aware of your thoughts, you're still your thoughts, then what happens? The higher intuitive faculties, dinner to make, the higher intuitive faculties become activated. That makes sense? So as you're still, the physical body is still, the emotions are calm, the mind is still, and then the higher faculties, clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, become stimulated, giving you information. Now, with the stillness, you have awareness. But the reason we don't have stillness in our lives, or the reason we don't know what to do in our lives, option A, option B, option C, is because we lack stillness, which doesn't give us the opportunity to have awareness, because your higher soul is always giving you the message. Do this, don't do this. Do this, don't do this. Do this, don't do this. It's always giving you that message because it's designed to evolve you. It's designed to bring you to oneness with itself, right? Which is you. Your higher soul is you. It's not separate from you. But if you're constantly moving and constantly being stimulated physically, emotionally, mentally, right? You lack the ability to have stillness and awareness. That's why when we do the Om in Twin Hearts, I say, be still, be aware. Om. Om. Be still, be aware. So that's the higher level of truth. And in other schools, they call it meditating on the gap. See, Karen gets it. Yep, happens a lot during the Twin Hearts. Meditating on the gap. So when someone is speaking, in between every word and every syllable is a space. As you're inhaling and exhaling, there are spaces. Right now, there's birds chirping outside of my window. In between their teeny tiny baby chirps, there's stillness, there's silence. Your job as a practitioner is to be aware of the gap, to be aware of the stillness, to be aware of the space. And let me tell you, it gets very, very interesting the deeper you go into stillness, because you hear me speaking, right? You hear spaces and gaps in between each of my words and each of my syllables. If you go into the space in between, and then the next syllable go deeper into the space, and then the syllable after that deeper into the space, and the syllable after that deeper into the space, you could be very, very, very still, very deep, and very blissed out of your mind just listening to somebody. Does that make sense? Also, when you have a very powerful meditation and there's a lot of dynamic things happening, you're receiving blessings, you're receiving energies, you're receiving teachings, it helps to have a moment of 5 to 10 minutes of stillness. Not moving, not doing anything. Why? Because your ability to assimilate the energy is increased. But if you do a powerful meditation, right, and then you go, all right, I'm done, and you just get up and walk around, you're not giving your bodies, plural, mental, emotional, etheric, and physical, your bodies to absorb and assimilate and integrate the energies. So stillness is super, super. Reading in my notes today, which is kind of what we covered this morning, if you cannot still your physical body, you can't have stillness. Karuna, namaste. If you cannot still your physical body, you cannot have stillness. So when I see you guys in the meditations, right, when we all jump on for Zoom to do our Twin Hearts in the morning, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the people who can be physically still. It's not a judgment. It's not saying you're a good person or a bad person. It's simply saying, okay, if this person wants to go very deep in their meditation, they need to be still. If you want to receive healing, you need to be still. One of the best times to heal people is when they're sleeping. Because guess what? They're not really moving. They're super receptive. Not receptive, they have less resistance to receiving healing. That's usually the best time to do healings on people. So Denise says, I sit for a while after meditations. Beautiful. Jessica says, my breathing gets very shallow, like you said, almost not remembering to breathe. Correct. So as you access greater stillness, you access greater power, love, and light, which is feeding the chakras. Hello? It's feeding the chakras. So if I go like this with my hand really quickly, that's physical energy, right? If I go like this, I'm gathering energy from stillness. So if you look at my hand energetically, it's building and gaining energy. Lots and lots of energy. Versus this. This is physical energy. But if you want to have power and access to the inner world, you have to be still. So when you're still, not moving, your body is gathering and gaining energy. That's why you don't need to breathe as much. You guys with me so far? One of the master pranic healers, the way he charges his system is closing his eyes, being still, being super still. His organs get charged, his blood vessels get charged, his bones get charged, his cells get charged, his chakras get charged, right? Versus him running, taking supplements, drinking water, doing physical things to take care of the physical body. Not saying that that's not important, but I'm giving you a different perspective. If you want to recharge your system, you can just be still. That's how some of the yogis who do challenges of burying themselves in water for 5 days or more, or burying themselves under the ground for 5 days or more, these are spiritual practices. They are still, they are so still, it's almost as though they're dead, because they slow everything down and then they leave their physical body and they travel in the inner world, but they're still connected to their physical body through their cords, the spiritual cord, the silver cords. I don't want to get too technical for this stream, but it helps to understand stillness. How is a yogi able to be submerged underwater for days without drowning, or submerged under the ground days without suffocating? Because they are living off of energy. They're not living off of physical substance like nutrients and oxygenation. Does that make sense? It's fascinating. I'm not saying that we're all there yet. I'm not saying that it's easy to obtain. I'm saying that's as you continue to do your meditation practice properly over a period of years, you will develop certain abilities that you don't need as much sleep. You can do many, many cool things as you continue your practices. Yes, so Denise says you can get blissed out when you do that. Correct. Just being still. I thought I had figured that out. Show me otherwise. So how do you suggest we ignore those itches honestly? You were practicing it. You have an itch and you say, I'm not the body. I can tell you, there you go. Amanda just said it. I do the I am that I am before meditation, which is recommended. For the more advanced practitioners, it's recommended to do I am the soul affirmation before every meditation. Twin Hearts or our Hatha Yoga meditations. All of them. That was an instruction that was given about 5 years ago. We don't do it in a group to the general public because it's too powerful for the general public. Right? But you guys have been regularly meditating, so it's more appropriate to give you that technique. For those of you who don't know what the I am affirmation is, message me directly. What was the other thing about the I am the soul affirmation? So I've been meditating regularly for 20 years. I started in 1999, June of 1999. So it'll be 21 years coming up. I've already been meditating longer than half my life. It's kind of cool. And when I would meditate, whether it's whether it was the TM technique I started out with or pranic healing and or Hatha Yoga meditations, I would have severe, and when I say severe, I mean like imagine somebody taking a knife and jamming it into your shoulder blade and jamming it into your back solar plexus. It was that level of pain and severity. But guess what? I kept practicing for years and years and years. Over 15 years. Not the body. And I would feel so much bliss, so much peace, so much joy pouring through my system that even though I was aware, I wasn't oblivious to it, I was aware, hey, there's just excruciatingly sharp pain in my shoulder and my back solar plexus, I just did my practice. So to answer Jessica's question, focus on the stillness, focus on the inner peace, focus on expanding your consciousness versus everything going here. And then as you expand, this or this or this or this, or in Joanna's case, or this becomes irrelevant. Is this making sense? I know we're covering higher practices and higher techniques today, and it can be a little bit ethereal and harder to latch onto, but I'm just giving you the higher teachings of stillness. I tried my foot switch on its own. That's okay. Because your body has its own level of consciousness. Hello guys, when you go to sleep, do you die? No. Your body your heartbeat keeps going, your lungs keep working, right? Because your body has its own level of consciousness. So if you're meditating and your foot is getting all squirrely and moving, it's okay. Because your body's doing something. By the way, I'm going to finish with this because we could make this stream another 3 hours. If you notice, and this would also apply probably to Karen, if you notice when you're being still, and you're meditating, and your eyes start twitching, your foot starts moving, your knee starts shaking, your neck starts tweaking up, if you will, what's happening is divine energy is coming into your system through the crown, because that's the entry point for spiritual energy from the great ones. It's entering into the crown, and then it's moving blockages within the body. So energy has to permeate. It has to move. So if you have a blockage in your neck, because there's congestion, there's built up energy, and the divine energy comes down, it's like, it's trying to move its way down so it can actually move the physical body. So that can happen in the shoulder, right? You're meditating and that's happening. It can happen in the knee. Your knee starts going up and down, up and down, up and down while you're meditating. That means there's a blockage in that part of your body. Make sense? And you toss and turn. So I hope this gives you a new appreciation for stillness. It is profound. It never gets boring. It's as, that a girl, it gets as expansive as you can possibly imagine. We're just covering elementary stuff. Still your physical body. As your emotions become stimulated, be aware of your emotions and allow them to calm down. Then your mental body becomes stimulated. As your thoughts start getting generated, be aware of your thoughts and calm down. Like, let them, be aware of them and let them let them settle. And then your higher intuition will become activated. The reasons why we don't have stillness, but one of the reasons we don't have stillness on the higher levels, emotional stillness, mental stillness, is because we resist. We resist. Why am I feeling this emotion? I shouldn't be feeling this emotion. This is a meditation for peace, and I'm feeling anger. Why am I feeling anger? Why am I feeling resentment? Why am I feeling... Right? So what you're doing is you're stirring up your emotional body, and you're feeling more... You're feeding the thing that you don't want to feed. That's why I said be what? Be aware. Oh, there's that anger again. Yo, what's going on, anger? You just be aware. And guess what? As you become aware of it, it falls by because you're introducing light into it. So you're like, oh, there it is. La, la, la. But as soon as you start attaching yourself to it and feeding it energy, anger, 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 it gets bigger, bigger, bigger. And then it stirs up your whole emotional body. And then guess what? You don't have emotional stillness. You can't access mental stillness. And you can't access your higher intuition. And where does it all begin? Physical stillness. Physical stillness. That's why you see many of the, one reason you see the great yogis, when they have their students, they're just sitting. They're sitting in lotus or half lotus, or they're sitting in a comfortable chair in a comfortable position, and they're just there for hours and hours and hours. How are they able to do that? Because they are in stillness. They are blissed out in ways that I can't even comprehend. I used to think when I started meditation 20 years ago, and I had deep meditations, I had really good meditations, I was like, oh, that's what bliss is. That's what stillness is. Okay. And as I've progressed in my path, that has changed considerably. So keep at it. Never give up. Like we talked about in the newsletter yesterday, if you want illumination, start and never stop. Easy. Start and never stop if you want illumination. And if you want it fast, do it all the time. Meditation, or as Master would say, spirituality is not just meditation. So it's okay to think of different things. Yeah, you're going to think of who you have to call. You're going to think of making dinner. You're going to think of this, 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 think of this. Don't be inundated. Just go, oh, there it is. It's like if you were at a riverbank. This will help some of you who are visual. If you're at a riverbank and you see a boulder going by, a tree branch going by, a teeny tiny baby squirrel going by on one of the tree branches, you don't follow it all the way around the river, right? You just go, oh, there it goes. Bye-bye. 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 So when you're focusing on smelling something, like Lizzie was saying, smelling something, that's not practicing awareness, and that's not getting you to stillness. You're concentrating. When you concentrate on something, you go deep into something. It's different. So one is concentration, one is awareness. They're different. Awareness and stillness go hand in hand. As you become more proficient, you can do both simultaneously, but that's a different conversation. Make sense? I hope it makes sense. I didn't want to get too all over the place with you guys. So if I thought of something sad and have awareness of it, just not fixating on it. Correct. Ah, there's sadness. There's sadness. Okay. Master Toa says, meditate on the meditation, not on the expectation. So when you start with an expectation of, I'm going to experience peace in this meditation, right? I'm going to experience peace. Right, namaste, right? I'm going to experience peace. Then what happens when something comes up where you don't experience peace in the meditation? You have a physical pain. Oh, I'm not experiencing peace. This was supposed to be the meditation I'm supposed to experience peace in. What's happening? You're no longer following the meditation. You're now following your what? Expectation. So it leads to suffering. Lissy, you made it. Thank you for your feedback. I appreciate you. So there are many, many nuances to your spiritual life that affect your emotional life, your mental life, your physical life, your financial life. It's more of understanding the major principles and then constantly practicing those principles. It's not about 100 different techniques. It's about 3 to 5 techniques, and then you just keep practicing them over and over and over again. So stillness, you're like, oh yeah, I tried that stillness thing. I did it for like 6 months, and it was like, yeah, whatever. No, that's something you practice for the rest of your life. Like, oh, that compassion thing. Yeah, I read like a book on compassion, and I went to a seminar on compassion, and I was like, yeah, I guess it could work for me at some point. No, these are core principles: character building, stillness, concentration. These are core principles that you spend your entire life becoming proficient at. And you can master them, but what level of mastery are you seeking? Not superficial, but the difference between the enlightenment of a yogi and the enlightenment of the Buddha, much, much different. Kirsten, namaste. What's up, girl? Good to have you on. We totally ran over. My apologies. You guys were asking intelligent questions. The energy is flowing. I don't know if you're sensitive, but we end these streams when the energy starts shrinking. So as long as you guys are asking questions and the energy is flowing, I do my job to facilitate, to answer questions, to provide insight, understanding, clarity. Nice to see you as well. So that's why some streams are 5 to 10 minutes long, because you guys are full. You guys aren't that interested in the topic. There's not a lot of energy there, whatever. And then there are other subjects like stillness, which is infinite in its complexity, and it never gets boring. And so that's probably why you guys are all into it. Like, I'm blissed out talking to you. And I'm super, super grateful to the teacher for these teachings, because without Master Choa, I wouldn't be able to explain these things to you. Feeling amped up the last 2 days. Why are you amped up the last 2 days? My energy is depleted. I need some sleep. Is depleting. May you sleep deeply and profoundly, Jessica. Lots of love to you. Say hi to everyone. Yeah, the energy changes. Denise, get it, girl. So, that being said, see how the energy changes? That being said, let me know how I can serve you, help you, heal you, push you in the right direction, if you will. Go to ChristianRLong.com. It's my name, it's my website. All the information's on there. And then catch us tomorrow at 8 o'clock a.m. for a challenge number, now I need 2.5 hands, challenge number 11, which I'm thinking of what we're going to do. Hopefully I'll be divinely inspired as usual. Kirsten says, not sure, Venus and Mars, good amped up and then a little edgy. The Wesak Festival. Kirsten, on May 7th of this month, May 7th, was the Wesak Festival, the most powerful full moon of the entire year, the full moon of Taurus. So you're probably experiencing some of that energy. It's usually the peak, it's very strong 2 days before the peak of, and then 2 days after the peak. So you could be connecting to the Wesak energies. You're welcome, Tina. My pleasure. But that's it. So I look forward to serving you guys in the near future. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly from my Koksui. Bless each and every one of you with light, love, and power, with prosperity, abundance, and success, with awareness, with understanding, and with deep, deep stillness. Love you guys very, very much. I will see you tomorrow. On time. Atma. Namaste. Bye-bye.